Hey, welcome back to Snap Bolt Games. My name is Max, and I am here sort of with a Pauper League, but as you can see, there's no deck in front of us here. Let me get into what this video is going to be. This is going to be a little bit of a different type of video. I am going to be showing my brewing process. I'm going to build a deck, and then we're going to play it through a league. Probably the league will be in the next video, but in this video, I'm going to brew this deck. If you can see here, Ninja Affinity. This is going to be an affinity deck with Ninja of the Deep Hours. I have a couple ideas for which directions we're going to take the deck, but you're going to be able to see my deck building process. Let me know if you like this type of content. And again, if you're not as much interested in the deck building process, the next video out on the channel, which should be out tomorrow, will just have a league of the deck. Let me shout out the channel where you can find the videos. It's youtube.com/snapbolt. There's going to be a link to go to the channel below. You can also subscribe. That's the best way to support me. You can ring the bell to know when new videos come out, and you can comment down below. Let me know what you think of this deck and this new type of content that I'm doing. Okay, so again, this will be my my brewing process kind of from start to finish. We have no cards in here. I started this deck. I just had the idea basically, I want to try another. I've seen people like Weber play Ninja of the Deep Hours in older affinity decks, but I was like, I want to try it again now with the new affinity lands. And there's another card I want to try out, the 1 blue, 1/1 flying artifact creature with when it enters Scry 1. So I actually want to try that card. I want to try Ninja, and then I want to play all the affinity 4/4s and play a bunch of artifact lands. And that's about where I got to. There's two main ways that I think we can build this deck. One is pretty obvious, which is going to be being blue and red. Then we get red for Galvanic Blast. The other option, which I thought of, which I think actually seems sweeter, it's going to be blue and white. Because then you can play Thraben Inspector in white, which is good with Ninja. It makes artifacts. And if you play Thraben and Ninja, then you have 8 humans. You can also play Of One Mind and Thoughtcast. So you could be kind of like a what is that Brute Squad deck from Propaganda. So you could be kind of like a Ninja version of Brute Squad that's more like Fey based, but still like Thoughtcast and Of One Mind. So we'll see. I'm gonna get started on the deck though. Let's get right into it. So first we can add the classic card, Ninja of the Deep Hours, 4 to the deck. And affinity for artifacts. Let's add these next cards. Let's bring this down a bit here. So definitely want 4 Mirror Enforcer, 4 Companion. I don't know if we're going to want 4 Frogmite yet, but I think there's a possibility we do. And actually, I do think we want 4 Thoughtcast. I'm not 100% on this one, but I think there is a possibility we want the 4 Thoughtcast. And then let's go Counterspell. I think it's like there's enough good blue cards where we could, let's play this art for sure. This art's good too, but I've been liking this art best actually. Um, there's enough good blue cards, but there's not enough artifact lands, so you might as well be 2 colors. So I think, yeah, I think you do definitely want to be 2 colors, and I think Counterspell is actually good. I'm not sure if we're going to play Spellstutter Sprite because we won't have other fairies, but I think that card is just so good that we might want to play it anyway. 4 Preordain. And then let's just like, let's get the blue artifact creature in there. I don't actually know what it's called, so I have to just look this up. Let's go Pauper. I can sort by set, but let's just go type, artifact, creature. Okay, it's Silver Raven. This is the card I wanted to play, basically. I want to play Silver Raven with Ninja of the Deep Hours and a bunch of artifacts. So this is already 36 playables. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to fit the Thoughtcasts and or Frogmites if we're blue-red. Let's just get artifacts and lands. Okay. And then let's go 4 Seed of the Cyanod. Let's just build it. I was going to say let's build blue-red first, but I kind of want to build blue-white first. We don't have really good removal in white, but the Thraben Inspector plus the Of One Mind synergy seems really sweet. All right, let's just build red first so we actually have some decent removal. I think you want 4 Great Furnace as well. So 12 artifact lands, that's maybe all we're going to get. think you do need to play the 4 Great Furnace. Again, we'll start with the blue-red build, and then we'll also check out the blue-white build, but I'm going to start here. I don't think you want Darksteel Citadel, maybe in 1 or 2, but I think you need a bunch of islands here. Let's just fill out the mana base. I think it's just going to be the rest islands, actually. Like bucket islands. 20 lands, probably going to be a good amount here. The thing is, if we play... Oops, cannot type. If we play Galvanic Blast and Lightning Bolt, we're going to have too many non-artifact cards in the deck. Because we have Spellstutter Sprite, Counterspell, Preordain, Ninja, Frogmite. I think the blue-white version just might end up being more synergistic because let's see. Let's just keep trying to build this for a second. So we also have Lightning Bolt. This is another card that we could play. I'm just gonna add in a bunch of stuff and then we'll try to like kind of get it down. Splinter. This is another card I thought we could play. Probably not 4 Bone Splinters in the deck, but could play some number. So this is 72 cards. I think we are going to want 20 lands. We have 8 red sources right now. That's honestly maybe not even enough. Although we do only have 4 tap lands at the moment. So what we could do, we could play like Mountain. 1 mountain. That's already so many red sources. Because usually in blue-red Fae, let's just look at like a mana base, just so we have an idea here. In UR Fae, they play 8, 10 red sources. Ooh, Commodore, that would be a nice addition too. This deck also just plays way more spells and not as many creatures. Okay. And then where's our deck? Is it up here? What do I call it? Oh, Ninja Affinity. Why can't I find it? Oh, it's probably up here. Yeah, here it is. It's saying it's a complete deck because it has enough cards. So this is actually only 8 red sources. So what we could do, we could go cut 1, 2, 3, play 1 mountain, play 2 ash barons. I think this mana base looks better to me already because now we have 8, 9, 10, 11 red sources, which is actually a lot, and still 20 lands. And we only really lose out on 1 blue source. Yeah, we lose out on an early blue source, but I think that's okay. And I think this deck, we do need to cut non-artifact cards because we need the maximum number of artifacts for our affinity for artifact cards. I think Frogmite might just not be good enough. This is also why I think I like the white version because Gingerbread just seems kind of like a weak card in general. But if we get to play Thraben Inspector, that's so good with Ninja. And I think if you go Jeskai, the mana is going to get pretty rough. To try to be able to cast Thraben Inspector on 1 and have red mana for Galvanic Blast, that just seems crazy. That doesn't seem good to me. So that being said, this just seems like a little tight, and like I don't really want to play Gingerbread just because the card doesn't seem that great. Let's see, what if we do like something like this? This is still 6 cards too many. I mean, we don't need to play necessary 4 blast, 4 bolt. So we could cut it down like this. And then what if we didn't play Frogmite? This is still not even that many artifacts because we have 12 artifact lands. And then it's just not, I think this is just not enough artifacts for these cards. Let's try the other version and maybe we're just gonna have to play like less removal, and then we get Thraben Inspector, and we could even play Frogmite in that version for another artifact. So let's try the blue-white version. So let's save this deck, and let's open a new copy. Open a new copy of this deck. So let's call this Open a new, let's just go to properties. So this is, you are Ninja Affinity. Let's just call it so they can be next to each other. Affinity Ninja you are. And then this one will be Affinity Ninja you white. Okay. And then let's cut all these red producing lands and add lands that produce white. And in this version, we may even want to play like 2 planes because we do want the early white for Thraben. Cut all these red cards. I guess I could have just moved them over here. Okay. I don't know if we're going to need Bone Splitter in this version either. We might just have enough playables. This is sweet. Let's go Artifact. Add 4 Ancient Den, 4 Bridge. This is sweet. And then let's go Plains. That's 18 lands right now. Let's play 2 Plains. Let's play Thraben. Thraben just making artifacts with Ninja just seems so good. And then let's play Up One Mind. Because we have a bunch of, we have 8 humans and the rest non-humans. This is already 60 cards. I don't think we're gonna be, I don't know if we can play 4 Preordained, 4 Up One Mind, 4 Thoughtcast. That's just so many draw spells. We could cut like an Up One Mind and then play like 1 copy of Journey to Nowhere. I wonder if we even have enough artifacts. We don't even have the Frogmites in the deck right now. Cut an Up One Mind. This is 63 cards. We could also go down to 19 lands. I don't know if we need that many white sources. We do want white on 1 for Thraben. It makes it better. What if I just cut an Ash Barrens, just get a little bit greedier on the mana base with 2 planes? I think I like that for this deck. Go 19 lands. This is still 62 cards. It's weird to, I think 4 Preordain is basically the minimum that we're going to want to play. I think 4 Preordain seems like it's going to be pretty strong. And then I think Journey to Nowhere is the best removal spell in white. Maybe even just 4 copies of Journey. What if I cut Frogmite? Is there any other Portable Hole's not a common, right? It's an uncommon. I think it's an uncommon. Yeah, it would have it if it's a common. I don't think there's any other. Let's look. Let's look at artifacts that are white here. Artifacts. I guess we can look at the ones that are cheap, but let's look at the artifacts that cost or have white mana. I don't think 1 mana 2/2 is gonna cut it. I just don't think that's good enough. And that's really the only like 1 drop that we could play. On 2, there's Ancestral Blade. That's just, I guess that's not that great with Spellstutter Sprite. Doesn't seem that good. There is these affinity modular creatures. When they die, they put +1/+1 counters on an artifact creature. Interesting. Don't think that's going to be good enough. Don't want Delver's Torch, that's for sure. Ooh, this card's interesting. Just start bouncing the Mirror Enforcers. Again, I do want like the maximum number of artifacts in the deck that I can get because it's just going to make these more castable. When I originally was brewing the deck, I also didn't have Thoughtcast. I kind of thought about that later and added that. Also, I am interested in looking at a blue-white-red version Because if we just play white for Thraben Inspector, it seems really bad, right? Because our mana is going to be rough. But then we just get to literally play all artifact lands. Every single land would be an artifact, which just makes these so much more castable and makes this better. Like, right now we have a fair number of non-artifact lands. And then we just get to play Galvanic Blast over Journey to Nowhere, which also just seems better. I do want Counterspell as well. It's just going to be hard to cast. I mean, I could go for this blue-white version, I think. Quad Journey to Nowhere. So basically these are artifacts. All these 12 cards are not. This is so many non-artifact cards. All these cards are non-artifact. 23 non-artifact cards in the deck. That's just so many. I'm kind of worried about that aspect of the deck, just having too many non-artifact cards for the Mirror Enforcers and Sojourner's Companion. Yeah, we have these to make artifacts, but that's not even that many. I don't also really want to play like Chromatic Star or Pathetic Prism because I kind of want to be committing to the board. Let's save this. Let's look at the UR version again. I knew it would be kind of between these two. How many non-artifact spells? Because I'm not playing Of One Mind in this. Maybe this is just better. So this is 22 non-artifact spells. It's actually about the same, right? 23 or verse 22. This has much more draw power. The other version, I mean, can I even play this deck? Because this is just Ninja Spellstutter Strike Raven. It's not even that many creatures for Ninja either. Interesting. And this is 2 Bone Splitter also, which seems really bad actually. What if I even play like blue, white, red, but play also Frogmites because I'm going to have all artifact lands, and then that's another creature? We can look at it. Let's just save this. Let's open up another copy. So I know like the basic strategy of like what I want the deck to do. I'm just trying to like figure out what the best version of it would be. Let's just call it Jeskai because we're Zoomer now. Affinity Ninja, Jeskai, and then let's bring back the artifact lands. Let's actually go to quantity that we have. Okay, we shouldn't need, if we go Jeskai, we shouldn't need any non-artifact lands in the deck. We're gonna have to play more duels, yes, but I think that's fine. Okay, here's Ancient Den. And then here's the blue-white land. We might not even need... This is already 20 lands and 8 white sources. Could play like 1 more land or 2 and play like a couple red-white bridges. I don't think we're going to have room for Bolt in this deck. This is 22 lands. We might actually need that many lands just to have decent mana. I guess I could cut a Great Furnace or 2 because we don't need red that early. And this gives us just better mana, 10 tap lands and 10 untap lands. Okay, this looks actually kind of cool. I'm kind of liking this. Then we get to play Thraben and Of One Mind. And then this deck has like way more insane draw power. And again, every single land in this deck is an artifact. Let's just get a little more greedy on the mana and do this. Oh, we can't cast Counterspell in this deck, but maybe that's actually a good thing because I don't know. I think we need Counterspell in this meta. That's the problem. Because if it was a more like mid-rangey meta, I think we could get away with it. But casting Counterspell has got to be rough here. One, two. We have 12 blue sources. That's honestly not enough to cast Counterspell, I don't think. This version's interesting. It's just like, I mean, I guess Sojourner's Companion can fix our mana as well, because it can cycle for artifact lands. Does just seem so good to have all artifact lands. Just another problem with this deck in general is people are going to have like a bunch of dust to dust in their sideboard. But I still think I'm down to just try it and just see what happens. I want to try the Silver Raven. Okay, let's see. Can we cast Counterspell? I mean, I could play like 2 islands or something. Let's not play Snow Islands. Play these ones. Play 2 islands. Cut a Great Furnace and just maybe don't play the bridge and just have 6 red sources. That's pretty low. With only the Thraben and Galblast, I feel like it's just too hard on the mana to essentially splash both of these cards. All right, we're bouncing around, but this is kind of how I do it. Again, this is kind of my process. I think I'm liking this version the best. We have 7 lands that are not artifacts. I think that might be fine. And how many blue sources do we have? 4, 12, 13. I could cut plains, play island. This is already seeming a little bit better. I can just go like 2 journey main, 2 side. I think I'm liking this. Cutting non-artifact spells here. Because now our 1-drops, we have 8 1-drops that are essentially artifacts, because again, Thraben makes a clue. I think this is the version I want to try. This just seems the sweetest, and I love the combo of Thraben plus Ninja. Our white sources are a little lacking for Thraben Inspector, but I mean, not really even. We have 8, 9, 10. 10 white sources. I mean, yeah, it could be a little bit better, but this is Pauper, right? It's going to be kind of rough. 19 lands is also a little bit greedy, could be 20, but we even have Sojourner's Companion. Now let's think about, am I going to be able to cast these affinity for artifact cards? Let's see. 12 of my lands out of my 19 are artifacts. So if I have 3 lands in hand, 2 of them are artifacts and 1 artifact, and I make 1 artifact, then I'm going to have 3 artifacts out. These are still going to cost 4 mana. That's definitely a problem. What if I just get super greedy on the mana base and again just go for blue, white, red? Does that even, I mean, it does help my artifact count by a lot. Because instead of having like mostly artifact lands, I have literally all artifact lands. Let's try 20 lands. This is 4, 7, 8 red sources. Could even cut. No, that doesn't. Cutting a Great Furnace for a bridge only helps cast Thraben early. But adding another tap land isn't great, I don't think. This is 64 cards. Cut an of one mind. I don't know if I can cut Thraben. I mean, I wonder if cutting 2 Counterspell is decent just because we don't have like quite enough blue sources with all these cards. It's still good later, but it's just not going to be online early as much, and it's a non-artifact card. This is looking okay. I don't even know if I was counting. Was I counting preordain when I was counting my non-artifacts before? This is 21, including the preordains. I'm also getting to play 4 Galvanic Blast. Let me save this. Let me recount here. Maybe I wasn't even counting preordains. 25. Wow, yeah, this is not even that many artifacts. It's just not, I feel like it's just not quite enough artifacts, especially with the Thoughtcast. Another option here is to literally just cut Thoughtcast and cut of One Mind, and then just play artifacts in those spots and just have less card advantage. That's actually a decent option. This is 60 cards right now. I mean, of One Mind and Thoughtcast seems so strong. I'm kind of liking this version, and then we can just side in like a bunch of particular counter spells like Hydroblasts and stuff for Chatterstorm, and just bring in hate for that matchup because this makes literally all our lands. I can't cast Preordain in this deck. What if I cut Preordain from the list entirely because Affinity doesn't even play that? It's just the 3 colors is just seeming just so weird. All right, Thoughtcast, huh? 1, 2, 12 artifact lands. These make artifacts. I do have the preordains. I don't want to cut like my only this deck only has 2 removal spells. It might just have too much card advantage, like with 4 preordain, 4 Thoughtcast, 4 of One Mind, but I am greedy and I do like to play as much like card advantage as possible. I do like the 4 counterspell, so I do have that interaction. Only 2 journey is honestly pretty weak. Four Thoughtcast, 3 of One Mind. I'm just like kind of bouncing around here. Sorry, I mean, I guess I'm not sorry. If this is boring, again, this is how I build decks. What if I just don't play Counterspell and Preordain? Play another of One Mind. I don't think there's another human that I really want to play in blue, white, red. Add a Great Furnace, add another bridge. We still do have Spell Stutter Sprite because it's like so sick with Ninja. Could play like Ginger Brute in a deck like this. We have 10 tap lands. I don't hate Ginger Brute. It actually is pretty decent with Ninja. Not playing Counterspell, not playing Preordain seems weird. But we still have the 8 humans. We have 4 of one. I can play 4 Ginger Brute. Should not play Preordain. Honestly, I don't hate it. This is such a funny list. Oh my god. We're like, again, it looks like we're going so hard to splash these cards, but realistically, what I'm trying to do is splash all these artifact lands, essentially, just like play mono artifact lands and have mana to cast my stuff. I mean, I guess I could go more Brute Squatty, especially with like Ginger Brutes, and then play Darksteel Citadels. Okay, we're on to something. We're on to something. Let's save this. Let's go back to the blue-white deck. And then let's like try to take out, what if we took out Counterspell? What if we get to play Journey to Nowhere? Where are my Ginger Brutes at? This card, actually, the more I think about it, it is good with Ninja. What if I do like something a little bit more crazy? Frogmites. Let's cut Ashburns. Triple Island. Might not even need to play this Plains. Could. Then we have another artifact land. And most of our blue cards are now only single blue. Okay, this is 63 cards. But now most of our lands are untapped and artifact lands. Our mana is just kind of rough because our mana is not that good anymore. But I think that might just be like a price we have to pay. This is 19 lands, but everything it costs single color. This is honestly looking better to me. You can probably go 3 of one mind, 3 journey. Should I even just cut another journey? Now look at how many more artifacts this deck has. It's so many more artifacts and so many more creatures. And we still have the interaction of Spell Stutter Sprite. I'm kind of liking this. Again, Gingerbird's not a great card, but it's another artifact. Let's look at all of our options at 1 mana that are artifacts. Let's look at creatures first. We can just start at 0. I don't think I'm going to be playing any of these zeros. I don't think I want Ornithopter. I don't want to go as deep as Brute Squad. I want to still be like Ninja Spell Stutter deck. Be like a little bit more mid-rangey. Also, do I want just like a 20th land here? Probably. I think Darksteel and then playing Frogmites is actually good in this deck to go wide. Let's see. I could also just go down to like 2 or 3 Frogmites because it's less impactful. All right. Now, like if we look at the non-artifacts, the good thing now is there's only 3 lands that are not artifacts. Everything is single pip, and out of the cards that are non-artifacts, we have just like 8 divinations at 1 mana. This is looking better. Again, we could just lose because of mana problems, but I think I like no Preordain, no Counterspell actually. It just seems too hard to get enough artifacts into the deck and be able to cast Counterspell and Preordain early. I think I'm liking this build exactly. I think let's go with it. Do I want 3 of 1 mind, 4 Frogmite? Yeah, let's do that. Then we still have 7 divinations. Looks good. Again, all these are artifacts, even Thraben. Only 3 lands are not artifacts. And then, of course, Spell Stutter's not. I think this card is still good enough because against Storm, it's still really strong, countering 1 mana spells. And then there's a lot of other 1-drops you can counter. It's really insane with Ninja. And then everything else is just like artifacts, and we can just play a bunch of 4/4s, and we can draw a ton of cards between of 1 mind, Ninja, Thoughtcast. We just don't have Preordain, which sucks. But I like this. Let's go with it. Let's build a sideboard now. I think the sideboard's actually going to be pretty easy to build. Let's go Revoke. I want to just do kind of my classic sideboard that I've been doing. Just really hate on Affinity. Just probably means it's not a great time for this deck either, but that's okay. We're gonna try it. 4 Revoke, 4 Dust to Dust. Might not go with that many. Let's go Hydroblast. And I want a lot of Hydroblasts and Dispels as well. 4 Hydroblast, 4 Dispel. Obviously, I'm not running all these cards, but I will be running a good number of them. I don't think we can't really run, what's it called? We can't really run Prismatic Strands. We don't really have white creatures. Is there other counter spells? Oh, I guess I want Echoing Truth. Whoops. Echoing Truth. I could even just play 4 Echoing Truth in the sideboard and just like be like super hateful. I kind of want to play all these. I guess Dust to Dust is kind of hard to cast with only 9 white sources. Maybe I can't play Dust to Dust, at least maybe not 4. It is good, but also just 4 revoke is also good, and it's single white. Let's go triple dispel, triple hydroblast, triple echoing truth, and just call it a day. And we can always, like, if we think of other sideboard cards we need, we can bring them in later. I'm not gonna have like hate for burn or anything right now. Oh, do I want the last 2 journeys in the sideboard? Like when that's gonna be good? I don't think so. I think I'll just stick with like the light removal package in this deck, and we're just gonna try to kind of go wide, draw cards, play 4/4s. All right. What do y'all think? Is this a terrible deck? Is this a monstrosity? What do you think of this? So it's blue-white affinity with ninja spell stutter sprite, basically. And we're like more aggro. We have like way more creatures than affinity, and we're not playing a Tog. Ooh, there is a Tog too. Okay, it's just another non-artifact spell. We gotta look at it though. We gotta look at it. So what if we just like admit to ourselves that we're gonna be playing less artifacts, but play like all good cards? Ooh, this is 60 cards and all artifact lands, and actually decent mana for what it is, with a lot of draw power. Let's actually look at the. There is way less artifacts in this deck for sure. Because how many non-artifact spells do we have? 24. But every single land is an artifact. It is less than the blue-white deck, but these cards seem a lot better. I just don't know if a Tog is as good in this deck as it is in the other affinity decks. I mean, we can draw like infinite cards here, and if we attack with a Tog, they're not going to block it. We can just get Ninja in that way too. This is so weird, but this is actually pretty sick. Another card we can consider for other decks, for the blue-white deck, is like Glinthawk, but not sure. This actually looks kind of cool. This is playing Ginger Brutes. Journey to Nowhere as the removal spell. Do I want to jam the Jeskai build without counterspell? A bunch of tapped artifact lands. This is 8 1-drops. I think this is just much more streamlined with 12 1-drop creatures with the ninjas. Let's just stick with it. Let's try this. Let's try this. We're going to jam. So again, I'm going to end this video now. If you want to see the league, I'm going to play this deck. I'm committing to it. The league will be posted on the channel the day after this. So go to my channel, check it out. If you're interested in seeing the league of this deck, it'll be right next to this video on the uploads. Again, the day after this comes out. Let me know if you liked this kind of like deck building process, if you liked to see this type of thing, or if you just want to see mono gameplay videos and let me do this kind of deck building process on my own. But we're going to jam this through a league, so stick around for that and check it out in the next video. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much. Till next time. Peace.